Hello, and welcome. I'm a hotel AI expert, and I'm so pleased to be welcoming all of you, the students of Europe Hotel School, to your online learning journey. In this explainer, we're going to dive deep into one of the most critical skills you'll ever master in hotel sales: negotiation.
When you hear the word negotiation, a lot of people picture this high-pressure battle of wills, right? But honestly, in the world of professional hospitality, that couldn't be further from the truth. The reality is, well, it's much more collaborative. It's a thoughtful, structured exchange where the real goal is to align what both parties want and need. We're talking about aligning expectations, risk, and value.
To get really good at this, the very first thing we have to do is shift our mindset. This isn't about winning a conflict. It's about mastering the art of a professional dialogue.
Just take a look at the difference here. On the left, you've got that old-school adversarial view, a contest, right? But the reality, where true success happens, is on the right. You're not there to force an outcome. You're there to create clarity. You're not applying pressure. You're guiding a conversation toward a solution that works for everyone. Believe me, when clients feel like you're actually listening and understanding them, they stop being opponents and start being partners. Now, a huge part of this dialogue is knowing exactly who you're talking to. The strategy that works wonders with one type of client might totally fall flat with another. So let's break down the three main negotiation arenas you're going to find yourself in.
First up, let's talk about the corporate client. When you're sitting down with a corporate travel manager, their entire world revolves around two things: stability and predictability. They absolutely need to know what to expect every single time.
And that need for predictability, it drives everything they ask for. They're looking for consistent rates so their budgets make sense. They need to know that operationally, you are reliable. It's really less about getting a huge one-time discount and so much more about earning their trust. They need that solid assurance you can deliver, especially on something as critical as last room availability when their people are on the road.
Okay, next we have the group client. Think of conference planners, event organizers. Their negotiation is a whole different ballgame. It's all about flexibility and really complex coordination.
For group clients, it's like you're solving a giant, multi-layered puzzle together. They need flexibility because, let's face it, attendee numbers always change. But it goes way beyond that. It's about coordinating all the moving pieces: the meeting rooms, the catering, the AV equipment. And what's really fascinating here is that your ability to be responsive and to manage all these logistics, that's often way more valuable to them than the room rate itself.
And our third arena is the long-stay client. This could be anyone from a consultant on a project for a few months to someone relocating for a new job. Here, the conversation is this delicate dance between the rate for the guest and the incredible value of guaranteed long-term occupancy for your hotel. Of course, they're going to expect a discounted rate for staying so long. But the negotiation also digs into the total revenue they represent and some very specific operational details. How often is housekeeping going to service the room? What amenities are included? These things matter because they impact both the guest's happiness and your hotel's bottom line, which makes total transparency an absolute must. So, let's just do a quick recap of these different mindsets. For your corporate clients, the main focus is stability, and what you're really selling them is trust and reliability. For groups, it's all about flexibility, and your key value is in providing seamless coordination. And for your long-stay clients, it's that balance of rate and duration, where the big prize for the hotel is consistent revenue. Getting this is your strategic starting point for any conversation.
Okay, so while the clients are all different, the good news is that the core skills you need to succeed are universal. So let's break down that foundational skill set that's going to work in every single one of these scenarios.
It all boils down to these three pillars: meticulous preparation, active listening, and strategic communication. If you can nail these three, you'll be effective in pretty much any negotiation you walk into. Let's dig into each one.
Preparation is what takes negotiation from being simple guesswork and turns it into a strategic exercise. Before you even get on the phone, you have to know your numbers inside and out, your costs, your demand cycles. This is what tells you when you have room to be flexible and when you need to hold firm. And crucially, you have to define your limits beforehand. That way, you're making decisions with confidence, not just reacting in the moment.
All right, now for the second pillar: listening. This is so much more than just waiting for your turn to talk. A client's questions are basically a roadmap to what truly matters to them. If they keep bringing up last room availability, they're not just haggling over price, they're telling you they're worried about access during their peak season. Listening lets you address their real concerns, not just the ones on the surface.
And finally, strategic communication. How you say things is every bit as important as what you're saying. It's about controlling the pace of the conversation, don't let anyone feel rushed, use strategic pauses to give yourself a moment to think, and choose your words carefully. Use collaborative language. Phrases like, let's explore how we can make this work, literally invite partnership. This isn't about winning an argument, it's about building an agreement together.
This brings us to our final and maybe most important idea. The ultimate goal of any negotiation isn't just to get a signature on a piece of paper. It's to build the foundation for a real, lasting partnership.
A signed contract isn't the finish line. It's actually the starting block. Think of it as a framework that's going to guide how you collaborate. Because things always change, right? Guest counts go up and down, schedules shift. A strong partnership lets you navigate all of that together, professionally, without blowing up the relationship. That's where the real long-term value is created.
So, at the end of the day, the crucial point is this. The single most valuable asset you can walk away with from any negotiation is trust. When a client truly trusts you, the conversations get easier. They become less about fighting over every little detail and more about planning together for mutual success. Trust is the bedrock of all future business. And so, I'll leave you with this question to carry with you throughout your careers. The next time you sit down to talk with a client, ask yourself, am I just trying to close a one-time transaction, or am I building the beginning of a valuable, long-term partnership? The choice you make in that moment, well, that's what will define your success.